This is Tony Graham reporting for Binjo 91.5, and I'm talking to the Mayor of Dubbo Regional Council, Matthew Dickerson. And how you going, Matthew?
Good, thank you. Good to be chatting to you, Tony.
Seems to be we have a big issue now with the erosion around the low-level bridge on the Bell and Macquarie Rivers in Wellington, Matthew.
There's no doubt about it, Tony. We are seeing some issues there with erosion. We've been monitoring that particular area where the Bell joins into the Macquarie. We've been taking photographs of that area. We've been putting drones up in the air and getting some of that footage and making some comparisons there. But the area where typically the Bell turns left into the Macquarie, there's been a bank there that's been severely eroded, in particular in this most recent flooding event. Even when you look at the images that we have and the footage we have from July this year through to this latest flooding event, there's a dramatic difference in what we see there. Now, the major concern is the Duke of Wellington Bridge. And obviously, as that starts to erode further, that's getting much closer to that particular bridge and the entrance to that bridge. Now, having some additional erosion on a river, that happens. Nature comes along and water does tend to erode a riverway at some stages, but this is the concern here. And so we're actually closing that road at the moment, and that'll remain closed until we can do a complete structural assessment. Now, our view at this stage is that the bridge is probably okay, but we need to have a good look at that bridge, but also look at those entrances, and it's mainly the entrance on the eastern side of the bridge that as you come down there, because that's where we're seeing that major erosion there. So we're looking at the entrances, we're looking at the bridge itself, and at this stage will remain closed until we're satisfied that structurally that bridge is safe.
Okay, Matthew. And is the council looking at means of trying to find a long-term solution to this problem and fix the bridge situation?
Well, whether it's fixing the bridge or fixing the erosion, and that's the big question. There was a report that was presented to Council about 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago now, that actually talked about some spots in the LGA that actually had some higher levels of erosion and some treatments that might be needed in relation to those areas of erosion. Nothing was done as a result of that report, but we'll need to pull that report out again now that we know it exists, blow the dust off it and actually have a look at that and see how we might treat some of those areas that are the highest risk areas. And again, rivers do change their shape over time. You've got water going through dirt and it's going to have different levels of erosion. What we are seeing at the moment, though, is we are having larger pulses of water come down as this rainfall has been so consistent, and water's not soaking into the ground at the moment, so you're getting a huge amount of runoff from where all the rain is falling because the ground is completely saturated. So we're probably seeing larger pulses, and then we really want to look at those really important parts of bends of rivers to see what we might do there. It's not a cheap process. It's something we need to approach very strategically, but there might need to be some treatment done where you actually put some lining along the outside of a corner of a river to try and stop that erosion and protect that erosion. It's a safety-first approach, Tony, from Council. Obviously, we don't want to put lives at risk. We don't want to put people at risk in relation to this particular bridge and these approaches to this bridge. We have got 2 bridges in Wellington now, so we're obviously lucky enough to have those 2 bridges there. So for the time being, people at least have got access across the main bridge, across the Macquarie River, to get across to the other side there, where they would go from the Duke of Wellington out of that Montefiores area. So we can close that with the knowledge that we've got those 2 bridges, and we want to make sure that we are completely satisfied that it is safe before we open anything up and then look at our long-term solutions.
Yeah, okay.